Okay, we're gonna do something perhaps pretty fun. We're gonna use every compare method that's on PeakMonsters to buy a different card. How about that? All right, what's the price of DEC? We're at the 8.2 range here, so it hasn't been, it's not the best it's been, it's not the worst. Let's see what deals are here right now. I tend to go first to price above burn to see what's happening here. Let me explain a little bit how that works. For example, a rare reward card tends to be 20 cents worth, 20 DEC worth of burn value, which means you can burn the card and get 20 DEC back. So if you spent 21,874, the reality is that it's the real cost is just at 1.874. So we're definitely going to buy some cards this way, but let's start from the top to the bottom. Lowest price card to buy. The lowest card price you can put on the market is 1 cent. So what's the best of all the cards um, that are 1 cent, or what is the one that I don't have the most of? So all right, we're gonna click on the magnifying glass, find some of these cards. One of the things that we want to do is sort by card price, and we're gonna group. It probably comes default as group, but I was doing some checking. Default is one of the best things out there right now. So looks here that it's two, no, 5 CP, so this is quite a bit more. But again, the 1 cent cards really aren't the best. So let's go look for rare cards here, okay? What are the cheapest rare cards for low price? So what I'm actually looking for is cards that are very compatible with the bid. Actually, cards that are lower than the bid. If this was a 19 or a 1.9 cent bid and there's cards for 1.8, then yes, heck yes. What ends up happening is someone could put a bid for like this for 1.9, and someone can dump hundreds and hundreds of cards on the market. We can only help that person with maybe 40 cards at a time. And so therefore, uh, we don't, and then later on, we'll keep on filling his bid, but that bid may be being filled and filled and filled and filled, and there's just so many cards coming onto the market. So this is what we're going to do. I click the quantity. There's 174. I'm putting it in the shopping cart. And you can see with the red that some of those cards are already getting purchased. And over here on keychain, which you can't see, I had to click twice because there's 150 cards at a time. If we go back in there, all them cards, they're gone. There's still a few. Well, there's one, um, well, 1.8. They just come and go quite quickly. Let's go to the next thing, which is lowest price per BCX. And then we're going to remove the rare. And I'm interested in these 0.005. So out of these common reward cards, you you get 5 DEC and burn value. So these are going to cost 6. I think it's worth it. It's not, it's obviously a percentage, a little bit of a percentage higher. Actually, we could see what percentage higher it is by going here. It's 22% higher. But the reality is that 5 or half a cent per card is pretty enticing. Now, which one of these do I want? I don't have a lot of ever hungry skulls. So we are going to grab this one. We're going to grab all 5 of these for 2142. And you can see it says 0.005, but there is a small variation, 3 cent savings, 8 cent savings. It just keeps going up. Oh, that's an eighth of a cent, so 1 cent savings. Sorry. Um, yeah. All right. So we're gonna grab those. That's $12 more of just a ton of ever Hungry Skull, and one of the things that I like, 60% ROA. In fact, I wouldn't mind grabbing all 17 of these. That's pretty good. They're $2 cards for max level cards. 60% return on asset when you're buying at $2.16. And how can we show that? I just want to show this real fast. Actually, what we're going to do is go down to active rentals. It's $2.16. We're going to look at just the reward common cards. Sometimes active rentals is a little slow. I'm not going to lie to you. And you have to refresh sometimes. All right. When you do a refresh, it pops right up. And we're going to do regular foil and cheap cards. And then we go down here, Ever Hungry Skull. The average is 4.3 for these level 10s. Okay, 4.3. So if you go back to here, to the, and that's 365 days of that, 4.3 times 365 is roughly over, well, it's over 12,000. It's 14,000 DEC. And as you can see, these cards are 2,600 DEC. And the cost is going to be like 13 to 1,400. I mean, not the cost, the earnings that you can get from renting, somewhere around 13 to 1,400 DEC. Now, don't forget that the ingrained value of it is 2,100. So, yes, I am saying that you're going to pay 2,100 for you're going to pay 2,600, which means it's only 529 DEC. The reality is it's only 529 DEC is the cost. And you are going to make something like 1,300 if the prices of rentals stay the same, 1,300 in a calendar year. So this is off the return on assets, which is 2,600. But the reality is, if you burned them, you'd get the 2,100 DEC. So, with that said, I think I'm going to buy all 17 of these. I mean, I should really just sweep the floor with those. Like, I should just go ham with every one of these that are like all these. Look at this, 46%. Now, they are renting for a lot less, of course. So let's grab these. Let's grab all 21 of those. Just a crazy amount. Only 338 of them are rented. Me trying to rent out 20 more may actually lower the price, but we're talking about a card that I can get for 2,600. It can be burned for 2,100 at any point in time. And so all I really need to do is make 500 DEC off of these, and I'm golden. So that may take a little while when you consider it's only 3 to 4 a day that I'm earning. But also when these things go out of stock, when they're not printed anymore, things get a little bit nicer. So, um, yeah, I think I am going to town on some of these. Oh, 5 in the cart. Let's do it. Put 5 in the cart. All right. And the Gargoyle Lion. I just love these YROAs being so high. All right, 38%, a little bit lower. This card's been around a little bit longer. Prices are probably on the rentals, probably even lower. 38% is not like amazing, but maybe we'll just grab these 5. So we're going to spend $100 on, so 138,000 DEC to get cards that are worth 109,000 DEC. And they could be rented out with a pretty good return on assets. So obviously a lot more opportunity. Those cards seem to be hitting the market more and more and more over time. let's go to the third thing, which is low price versus low BCX. What do we find here? We find cards that are expensive when you want a 1 BCX version of them, but to varying degrees, decently cheap when they're combined. So I like going through here and seeing if there's any smaller combined versions, not full combined, because that can be kind of expensive and the returns aren't super good on them. So I'm going to go over here to Silver Shield Archers. Low returns, high numbers, and the amount that it changes from to when we get to the small one. That's not even that small. Here's a small one. Here's a smaller one. It goes from 17 cents per to 39 cents. So it's not like we're getting that great of a deal. We're going to go to the Wood Nymph. These are all ones that I've come to expect usually being there. That they are really effective at low BCXs. So, and then we're also going to see all of those reward cards are all going to be there, all those same ones. And now we'll skip down to here, see if we can find a smaller goblin mech. We did, and yet the return on asset on that isn't so great. Let's see here. The Pellicor Bandit, a single copy is a single BCX is 1.7, but combined is 1.1 per BCX. Let's see what we got here. When it is spinning, that means that Splinterlands is saying, look, you've looked at a lot of cards already. We're calming you down a little bit, which is a little bit frustrating at times, but that's one of the things with the group versus single. When you're looking at single, you're only seeing like 25 cards on the market. Uh, and when you're looking at group, you're seeing all of these, sometimes thousands of cards, but they're all being grouped up visually. So we've pulled the information for a lot of them. So Splinterlands is thus telling me, hey, hold your horses here. All right, a 130 BCX version, 1.1. Now, the return on assets on these aren't amazing. This isn't a properly leveled card, which is part of the problem. There is a little bit of a gap. Now, that may not seem like a huge gap, but on modern reward cards that are still in print, that's a decent sized gap. So maybe that'll be the one that we buy. I'm going to try to buy something in every one of these. So here's another modern reward card, and look at the difference here. 38. I mean, we've already bought so many of these cards. Let's keep on looking. The Nectar Queen is an old reward common. Look at how it's gone up to 8 cents. But of course, they weren't printing quite as many back in the day. Now, this is a fully maxed out Nectar Queen. I'm looking for some of the lower ones, but I'm not seeing any really great returns there. I'm going to turn off reward and I'm just looking at comments. Let's look at all of them. You were probably looking on this right-hand side and telling me, look over there, change your filters. All right, let's check out. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Let's see. These aren't so great. Crustacean King goes from. I'm trying to look for some really low ones, but they don't rent super well for their price. But we've got a Untamed card. That could be interesting. The problem is the other day I practiced and I did some of this and I bought some of those good deals that we're trying to look for now. So it makes it a little harder for now because I already did a little bit of that. So these older alpha cards don't really have good return on assets, but I'm still intrigued to find kind of lower level versions. That would be nice. All right, still looking for some lower ones here. How about the Wizard of Eastwood? This is a not totally leveled up, but 15%, but it is a summoner, which is interesting. We already looked at a couple of summoners. Let's see if I can find anything else of interest. I don't need those maxed copies. Here's another max copy, and the jump from $1.41 to $1.76 when you don't want a max copy. And the ROA isn't so great, and there's only 7 being rented at the 6 at level 6. So I'm gonna skip down. One thing we could do is just look at moderns. Let's just look at moderns. They do tend to have a little bit better return on asset because the prices of buying them are usually a little bit lower. So let's take a look here. It's 60. Apparently not a very good return on asset there. Dark Astronomer, 12% is a little bit better. What I like seeing is this, the 40, as opposed to usually the max cards are at the top, especially when you're in this low price versus low BCX. So um, now the price doesn't really change too much between these two. So not feeling it too much. I could just kind of open a bunch of these. Now, when you open a bunch, it does help to go from bottom to top. 14% Wizard of Eastwood actually kind of looks like one of the best deals, and I do want to make sure I have more and more summoners. So right now, that's my favorite option. We're going to go down, maybe look at some of these. 7%, 15% on the Albatross. At a max level Albatross. What does the max level Albatross have? We click this button, we'll figure it out. It just has one more. Oh, that's interesting. Just one more health. The price difference between 53 and 82 isn't so good. Oh, here's another summoner. 9%, 6% return on asset in the rental market, 24%. Satori Mage. This is looking promising. 25 of them rented, not a ton at level 6, but 24%, and some of the other percentages are actually pretty good. And the difference is from 73 cents, it goes up to $1.20. Now, it goes up to just $1 when you only want 7 of them. But I think this is the one. So I think we're not going to do the wizard, and we're going for kind of a good opportunity. The base level for level 1's low card price is $1.20, and we're getting it for 73 cents a piece. And it does jump up quite a bit to the next one for the max level. So I feel like that's a good deal. Now, we could go through a lot more cards, but we got a lot more compare methods to go through. So on to the next one. Low price versus low price BCX. Low price versus high bid. Let's check that out. So the lowest price is $9,400 and the highest bid is 1,020. So there's a very large difference. What we really want to do is click that button, go the other direction, and see that the highest bid is 2.1, but the low price is 1.9. And you can see the bid over here too. So that's actually, these negative values are great. It tends to mean that there is a dump of cards on there and the bidding system wasn't able to kind of keep up with it. So low price versus high bid. The next one is going to be low BCX. So we'll see how that works here. So here's this 2.1. This is the low price. We're going to grab all 4 of these for sure. That's an easy purchase. In fact, this is one of those where you probably want to purchase them fast before the bid system comes back around and finds those 4 cards and gives it to the bidder. So that just happens when cards get dumped on the market. So there's a bid for 033, and the low price was 3.1. At some point, we open this up, There is no card for 3.1 cents. What does that mean? It means they all got purchased. They all got purchased too fast. In fact, if we refresh this, it's gone. That card is gone. But there's another one in here. The Sumkai Harvester is a new one. We're looking for 015. Let us add it to the cart. And these ones are already gone. Probably the bid system already getting them. So when you're on this compared method, you're looking for, I mean, these cards are going to go pretty quickly. So the bid is for 3-3, and all these cards are already gone. In fact, let's just refresh again. All these cards are gone. It's just the API from Splinterlands hasn't really caught up to it yet. So other things that you could be interested in is these cards that are at 0 or close to 0 as well. Let's see this one. Bid is for 345, and there's one that made it here. Let's go for price 344. Yep, there it is. Let's grab all 4 of those, and let's just buy them immediately. Boom, done. And let's do this one. I mean, you could keep refreshing the page to find any of the cards that are below the bid value, but we just go here. So the bid is 152. There are some cards that are 153. So maybe this is also worth it to you, or maybe these, even 59 of these at 154. Now, the question that I tend to go with is, what is the recent market going for? So if I click on this month thing, all right, 153 has been the average. It's gone up to 2-1, down to, let's see, 1-2. So it's up to you if that's something that you're interested in. For the sake of the video, I'm going to add all 52 of those. Is that how many there were? Now let's look for some other interesting cards here. So there's a bid for 512. There are some cards for 51.3 cents to be more exact in here. Let's take a look. Let's organize it by card price, and we'll see that there's 4 of them at that value. So we are going to add all of these cards, so $11 more of cards, and we are going to move to the next method, which is the low BCX price. So again, what we're going to look at here is the fact that any max level, any max only cards like Lux Vega won't work good in this particular one. Low price BCX versus high bid. So let's take a look. Wizard of Eastwood, look, there's a bid for $4, and that bid likely is only for level 1 cards. The Serpent of Eld, $2.30 bid. There are some cards that are, this is another one of those where you want to find kind of like the lower BCX combined sort of things. But even here, these 14, this is a pretty small card at 14. And at $1.15 each, it is way lower than the bid. So if you go into here, I mean, now we're getting up to $1.70 when you get closer and closer to level 1. But with the new change that requires leveled up cards to earn for certain accounts that are trying to play in higher leagues, I think this is a good idea. So I'm going to grab those, but then it jumps up 20 cents, 20.1 cents for this next card, 20.1 cents per card. Now, the card in total is roughly $2.72 more. But anyways, we are just going to buy that one. I feel like this low price for BCX versus high bid is very similar to one of the other ones that we did. It's one of those where you find you go in and see if there's any kind of low BCX options in here that are kind of floating around. Any low BCX options, obviously not a 400. And then you can also kind of eyeball the ROAs that you're getting here. So it's another one of those, just kind of like, let's go through them. Let's find out what's going on. And look at this. Look at this. We found this is actually pretty good. So the low bid is 38.9 cents on these Elven Defenders. Well, we're not interested in these big BCX ones, and that makes sense. The ROAs aren't so great. But look, 132 of these cards are being rented. 38% ROA. 14 is a pretty low. That's right on the money for a level 3. And we can buy 2 of these cards. They're only like 1 cent apart. So we're actually going to buy both of those. Actually, let's see. How much is this? Just a couple more cents. Let's buy that one as well. And then the next time that we get a level 3, it's going to cost a whole dollar more, and the ROA goes down to 24%. So I think that's another good deal. And it just takes a little bit of time going through these different methods. You can find a bunch more, but for me, it's time to go to the next thing. Now, price gap only finds the gap between the first and the second card. Maybe in the future we'll have it how many cards of in the gap. But let's go and take a look. Let's go and take a look. Now that means that it's roughly 35% for the next card. And we're still on modern cards, by the way. Modern regular foil. So I am not even looking at gold foil. The thing about gold foil is that the price between the first and the second card usually is insane. This is 8 times different, so something like 800%. So I like modern. I like regular foil. Let's see this. That the Venator Kinjo is $1.30 for one card, and the next card goes up to $1.70. So we aren't actually very close to the bid amount. It's one other thing that I would look at. And then obviously one other thing is the ROA, which is 98%. Look at that gap here. That's like a no-brainer card to get if it's even still available, and it is. So if you ever have time, it's not often that price gap has too many steals, like 1.35 is amazing, because people, if they come in and look at it, they just snatch them up right away. So all right, so card price, it goes from 76 cents to 90 cents. So the Mantoid, and look at these ROAs. These are real ROAs, right? 927 DEC, and the Mantoid, um, sorry, let's open up another tab, and let's bring up, just because I want to show you some stuff here. I'm going to go over to active rentals, and active rentals tends to have an issue, kind of have to refresh, something I need to report. So we're going to do modern regular foil. Let's actually type in Mantoid. All right, the average is 2.7 DEC. 2.7 DEC. Now, if you had 365 days of 2.7 DEC, do you see where we're getting at? 2.7 times 365 is something like 950-ish DEC. So it's worth more than what you're purchasing. So it's a good return on assets. You're just going to have to hope that you're going to get something as low as 2.7 DEC for an entire year. So when we see that it does fluctuate from zero point 0.1 all the way to 7.7. Now, even at the median, we're looking at 2.8. That means half the cards are cheaper, half the cards are more. There's 5,000 of them rented. You could get even up to 4.5 if you use the 80th percentile. Now, there's all sorts of reasons to go buying these cards. Now, one of the biggest things is this price gap. You can always buy cards in the 90-cent range of these Mantoids, but there's only one of them in the 70-cent range, and it's still available. I'm going to buy it now because that is a good deal. Coral Lurker, You've got one available at 32, the next one's 36. The bid is 26, so for me, I am not going for that because the ROA is pretty low. I could just put in a bid at 26 cents or $26. Sorry. One of the other things here, we got some expensive cards from 40 to 43, from 970 to 1040. I'm going to go down for more of the somewhat cheaper cards. Some of the, new types of cards here. All right. So there's only a few of these reward chaos rift watchers that are going to be under the amount here. So let's take a look. Decent return on these sixes, but yeah. So most of the time there's a bunch of cards priced at about the same price. But from time to time, you get one that's priced at $8.40 and the next one's $9.12. Sorry, $9.12 to $9.13. Or $8.40, sorry. Oh, $8.70 to $9.12. So the $8.70 is gone. Sorry, I was confused for a moment. I was trying to figure that out. But the $8.70 is already gone. So that means we probably refresh this and the raw is gone. So the price gap stuff, it does go fast. So I'm going to unclick all this stuff right here. And we are going to go to the next price at level. Actually, this is a really fun one. This is a really fun one when you do something like, let's see all the silver level cards, right? So what I like to see is if you go here, you can find like and just kind of break it down a little bit more. So I'm just looking at Rift Watchers, and you're looking at price at level. Look at this. You can get a gold card for level 5 Lycan Beast for $5.40, or you can get a common for $4.40. So this is a big thing that I really appreciate doing. So $6.30 versus $6.70. Now there is another thing here, gold versus regular, which is another one. We'll do some of a similar thing, looking for, well, if you're going to buy a card for a certain level, I mean, you could buy the gold card for a little bit more. First of all, they're going to be worth more uh, collection power. Let's see here. Where's that level 5? Well, the level 5 is how many cards? So, level 5 is 5 cards. So, you're going to be getting 625 DEC worth, burnable worth, and it's only 1,345. So you're looking at something like 600, 700 DEC is what you're going to be looking at. As opposed to if you were to buy the Lycan Beast at level 5, it's 60 BCX, and it's common, so that's 60 BCX times 5, that's 300. So it's more than double the CP total for the gold version. And yet the price difference between those isn't going to be, oh, sorry. Did I say 600 is what the CP would be? Well, it's going to cost for 5 of these. It's going to be something more around 7,000. Anyways, the point is, if you're going to be buying a level 5 of one of these cards, or a silver level of one of these cards, and the price is very, very similar. Look at this one's even more similar. This one's even more similar. 670. Let's take a look. Now, these may not rent out quite as well, We don't know what the level 5 version is renting out for either. So, but the reality is, I'm going to click here and I'm going to add all 5 of these to the cart because I may want the gold foil version. All right, the Lemille Refugee. Now that is a pretty big difference, 760 to 490. But also, this is where you would come to go, look, I am just fielding a team of a team. What is the cheapest cards to get me into this? And they're going to be a lot of reward cards. And the first one is not reward card is going to be some Chaos Legion. And I think we know that Chaos Legions are a little bit cheaper. Look at this. It's what are we talking about? 11 cents. 11 cents cheaper is the Gargoyle Scraper. We can go and add all 60 of those. Well, 29 is only 29 are needed. Boom, added. Let's find some other ones that I like playing with. Oh, look at the Gargoyle Scraper. Only 50 cents more, and you've got a gold version. Let's do it. Boom, added. The Crypt Beetle, not too different in price, only 14 cents difference. So we're going to hit bulk. Boom, added. All right. $10 more. Let's go to the next thing. Price at level is done. There's a few different ways you can use it. I don't think I even went through all of them for you. All right, market trend isn't something that a lot of people have too much experience with. We're going to get rid of the gold foils for now and just look at the regular foils. All right, what has been the trend? The portal spinner in the last 24 hours has gone up 185%, but in the last 7 days has gone down. One thing I'd be looking for is something where all three of the numbers are green. So it's gone up in the last 24, it's gone up in the last 7, it's gone up in the last 30 days. I don't know what you want to do with that information. It means it's gone up a lot. Will it still go up? Maybe not. So one other thing to do is which ones have gone down a lot. So 74% down. Let's take a look here. What are the prices? We're looking at 3.5, 3.6. Let's take a look here. 3.1 has kind of been the average. 3.0, 4.0. So last 30-day trend, it's been up a little bit. All right. Let's do another one, the Goblin Tower. Actually, I haven't bought stuff through this method too much. Let's take a look here. 7.7, 7.9. Oh, it says the current price is 7.3, but I don't see that as a current price. So let's refresh. Let's refresh, get some new numbers in here. These numbers do just update every so often. All right, 137 is the current price. There it is. There's the 137. Well, 13.7 to be exact, which is a little higher than the 4-week average. Now, what it was 1 month ago versus where it is right now. 24-hour trend. Let's see here. Oh, yes. Let's see. What's the date? 122 versus 125 versus 128. So going down isn't great. So what if we click the other direction? Sorry, I'm learning this too. I haven't bought too many this way. 109, let's take a look here. $9.60. $10.19 to get one at a time. $9.18. 1 week ago, 8. 1 day ago, $8 average. So it's gone up a bit, but the overall 30-day trend. Let's take a look at the 30-day trends here. All right, radiated scorcher is 2 cents. Let's take a look here. 2 cents, 2.1. Let's look here. 30-day average. Boom, 1.6. This is something I need to look at a little bit more. Yeah. Maybe we'll skip this page. I need to look into this a little bit more. Should I skip? Let's try it again. Just giving you a heads up. It may not work out correctly. So we're looking at 64.7 cents. It says that it's gone up 70% in the last 30 days. Oh, look yeah. Because 30 days ago it was 3.1. So this is how you read it. This is how you read it, ladies and gentlemen. 30 days ago it was 3.1, okay? 30 days ago, 3.1. Now it's 64. The average throughout it is 43. Okay? So it's gone up a ton. If it's gone up a ton, maybe you want to keep riding the wave upwards or you don't. Now, which ones have gone down a ton is one of the questions. So 39%, so for a dollar eight, 39% down. So 30 days ago it was $1.24, and now it's $1.08. There you go. Finally figured it out. You were probably saying, get this together, practice before you do the video. That's all right. We're practicing together. We're learning it here. So what about the 7-day trend? The Magi Necrosi has gone down. Let's take a look. $1.26 is the lowest here. And you can get, yeah, $1.26. Well, a month ago it was $1.38, but then it went through a thing where it was 98 cents and then back up to $1.46. 7 days ago it was $1.89 and then plummeted to $1.08. So it's all over the place. What was the average? I tend to love the average. $1.31 is the average, and we're finding them for $1.26. All right, we found our buys. We're going to go with that card, 35% returns anyways, so pretty nice. We're going to grab all of these, even the ones that are, 1 cent more. Boom, 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 boom. I feel like we need a little bit more practice on this. So we're going to do a 7-day trend again, and it looks good because it's down a lot in the last day over 30 days. So it's kind of like looking at 3 different metrics: 1 day ago, 7 days ago, and 30 days ago. All right, and it's 19.3 cents. It kind of goes, it jumps up pretty quickly. This is where the price gap wouldn't have worked unless you looked at like, oh, let's look at, a 5 card gap. Okay. So this is there's 5 cards involved, so after there's first 5 cards, it jumps a decent amount, relatively in percentage. Okay, let's take a look. 19.3 cents. The average is actually 19.3 cents because 30 days ago it was 20 cents. 7 days ago it was 22 cents. It has been down as low as 16, 17, but that's not too far off the 19. Are we through our worst days or worst price days still to come? Not sure. All right, we've added 5 more. This is actually kind of a nice thing to look. Now, you could look for cards that have a going up, going down quite a bit over the last day, okay, and have gone up over 7 days. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good one. Let's take a look. Blinding Reflector, 3.5 cents. Let's take a look at a bunch of them. It's actually very close to the bid, which I also like. 3.5 cents. Let's go check it out. So, quantity sold is quite a few, 40,000 BCX. So 30 days ago was 3 cents, not 2.5 or something. So it kind of has these jumps. Look at these jumps. Often it's at 3 cents. 3.1 cents is kind of the typical. So 30 days ago, I mean, it has dropped since yesterday. 30 days ago, it's gone up 3 point, what was it? 3 point, it's gone up to 3.5 from 3. And then yesterday, it was at 4 cents and obviously dropped quite a bit. So let's take a look at some other ones that maybe aren't just super penny type cards, some big legendary cards. Um, let's take a look here. $1.08. It's been down as low as 83 cents, high as $1.40, and the average is 108. Presently, it's 108. So I don't know where that is. The bid is 104. Doesn't actually seem like that bad of an option. 23% on a bunch of these. 1089, 108, 109, 1091, 1092. I'm just to throw a few of those cards in there. Let's buy them. Let's go to the next one. That was kind of a harder one to use. The stats is pretty fun. Let's find out which cards are popular, okay? Which cards are well, you can also use the 30-day average. Let's just kind of look at rares, and let's just look at rares first. And let's just look at Chaos Legion, Rift Watchers, Untamed. So 6 cents. These are the cheapest on average, and right now the current price is 6. Um, Current price is 7.6. The 30-day average is 7. One of the things we want to do is kind of have some percentage changes on these as well. Would be quite interesting. 1, 2 is as the average. And look at this, the current price is 117, so it is a little bit lower than the 30-day average, the 30-day high, and it's pretty close to the 30 days ago. Now, the 30-day minimum would be kind of fun to have in here. We don't presently have it. We're seeing how many cards also have been sold in these. Let's take a look. 117 is kind of a multi-combined card, so I'm actually not too interested. I'm going to look at the average 1.3, 1.37, 1.4 versus 1.5. That's actually pretty cool. Now, the high was 22 cents. So if I'm buying at 1.5, it's way below the high. It's near the average. I kind of want it to be at the average. How about that? There we go. 1.5 versus 15 cents versus 15 cents. There's quite a few of these being bought and sold, $2,000 worth, 13,000 of them. The Life Sapper, 30 days ago, there were 11 cents though. So that is one of the concerning parts. Let's take a look at the journey during a month. It is kind of gone up and a little bit of a down, 16 cents, 17 cents. There was a couple times it was down in 12 about 30 days ago. Right now at 15 cents, it's worth maybe 15.6 cents. I'm going to just because I told you I'd buy one on each of these things. This one's a little bit harder. If I do the 30-day average, that's a little harder. Let's see what's really popular, the total. Shall we? Click again. The most popular card is the Kelia Frindle, $39,000 worth being bought and sold. In fact, if we unclick this, unclick them all, so we have even gold cards in here. Kelia Frindle is actually on the list again with the gold cards, which is crazy. Now the Obsidian's also in there. Um, Now let's take a look at the average, 305. The current price is 296. So it's gone down a little bit. And Obsidian 209 is the average. It's down a little bit from the average. Oh, look at this one, 149. This one's down to 133 versus the average, with the high being pretty high here. But that's probably a multi-BCX card, which is part of the problem, of course. You can also do 7-day averages, by the way, people. 7 days or 1 day. So, like, what is the most popular card in the last day? It's still Kelia. Oh, these are just rare cards. The Lux Vega. I was gonna say, I thought the Lux Vega would be the most popular in the last day. So the Lux Vega regular foil. Um, so this is per BCX, so we don't actually know what the actual card. Um, yeah, how many cards per se. All right, Dr. Blight is up there. Grandmaster Wraith has been a pretty popular card, so the 1 day average is $20. It is selling for $20, but we really want to go for 30. Let's go for a 7-day average here. All right, $40,000 was sold in Lux Vegas, 12,000 in Lux Vega Golds. It looks like basically 3 cards, because that's how it works. There's 4 BCX per gold card. Okay, so let's take a look. What else can we buy? The average versus the current price. We're just looking at the most popular cards here. Oh, sure. $29 versus 21. It's at its 7-day high almost. 29.44 versus 29.4. This is where you get a lot of information about the cards. We're going to be a lot more particular about what you're actually buying. This is the buying compare thing. It takes a little bit longer, perhaps, to find something. Look at the price difference there. That's way up. 220, and it's down to 203. This actually could be the option here. 203 is for combined cards, 15% return. Not so great. 203, look at that. Boom. Between the next one BCX goes up quite a bit. There we go. We're just going to get those cards. Now, if anyone else watching has some good ideas for how to use market stacks, market trends, those are one of our newer ones. So they're very, very fascinating, but I don't have a good strategy ready to prepare, obviously. That's why it took me a little while, of course, as you just saw. All right, best CP per cost ratio. If you need some collection power, you're coming here. You're coming here for these cards. Usually a lot of rare reward cards is what I've noticed at times. So, I mean, I'm going to be buying a bunch of these, the great opportunities. I mean, look here, 22 DEC for a 20 DEC burnable card in general. So, um, let's take a look. These ones, especially these reward cards, do take a moment. Let's buy all 1,000 of them. So I click there, and then I click there. The spinner is saying, hey, we're adding them. They're already added. I'm buying 24, 424. I'm spending 24,600 and getting cards valued at 22,300 DEC burnable. And I can rent them on top of that. So there you go. I got to click the keychain button quite a few times because there's only 150 in each purchase. That's only going to take me, well, as long as I am still talking here. I'm still clicking on them. And a couple more. Man, but it takes a lot less time than it used to, that's for sure. And I just bought 1,100 cards. Now, one of my favorites, and I think a lot of people's favorites, is the price above burn. But before we get there, we're going to click on this green icon and see that, the price difference is are up. Means people have probably been buying them, like myself. Just kind of look for those really good deals. Now, each one of these cards you can burn for 100 DEC. They're going to cost 110. So it's roughly 10% more or something like that. 10, that's not 10%. I don't know what that is. 10, something like 10%, or the difference 108. It's just a good way to compare it. Oh, because I was thinking that's 10%. That should be 1.1, but the reality is that it thought there was 0.088 or 8.8 cent cards available. There are not. Those 8.8 cent cards are gone. They have been purchased. So I'm going to keep looking actually. Maybe I'm just going to look at the epic cards. We've got 8 cents, 9 cent cards here. The Jin Chwala, and the Revealer. Ooh, look at that. The Revealer goes up in price a decent amount. So I'm going to go for these Jin Chwalas. 10% difference. Oh, look it. We got a bunch of them here. We can get this one card and all 668 of these cards. So quite a few Jin Chwalas. 10%. Well, that's fine. You're looking at 50% ROA. That doesn't even include the fact, I mean, they're only 10 DEC really, because I can burn them at any time for 100. So that's the main point. We're gonna grab them. It's probably about 4 or 5 confirmations here on keychain. All right. Price above burn is just something people. That's I think the one we default to even. That's like one of the best ones to do. So, all right, gold versus regular. Gold versus regular. All right, the Cane Haze is cost $104 for a gold and $21 for a non-gold. So that is the lowest price differential. That is the lowest price differential, and it's not showing up because Splinterlands API is mad at us because we just purchased so many cards. So we're going to pause for a moment for station identification. And I'm back. It took a few minutes, but I'm doing so much here that it's just like, yeah, it's uh it's a lot. It's a lot on the Splinterlands API and stuff, and they're like, you shouldn't be looking at this many. All right. Look, the reality is only 4.8 times more expensive to get the gold card. Man, I'm tempted by that. The return on assets not so amazing, but they're not. The price gap here, it goes up kind of quickly after 3 cards, but what does it have? Is it a good card? Do I want to use this? Maybe not even to rent. I don't own these cards. I don't own gold cards of these two. But if I buy all 3 of these, it jumps up to 143. Now, what I would really like to know is the gold card stats, and I can't find them here. So that is one of the issues. It's just showing the regular card stats at 14. So the reality is that the average should be 14. So the gap between it should be 14 to 104. We'll keep an eye on it. I may just want this card anyways because I don't own it. The Neb Cine I'm not interested in. Quick's the Devious down to 114. I want to see the stats on it, but it's going to show me the stats on the regular card. Um, these percentages aren't amazing. I mean, we could look here. Percentages aren't amazing. Quick's the Devious, 15% isn't terrible. 4%, I'm not sure about it. The Bakjira, 16%, 615. Look at that. That's not bad. $36. This is the gold. This is the gold? Yep, 12,000 CP. It's definitely the gold. 36. There is a gap between the two. I like finding those types of cards and ones that jump up quickly because after I buy a few, then the price is high, you know? Um, uh, let's take a look here at 5.9. 10%. So the gold card is even got a little bit better option. I like that. Coral Lurker is a dang expensive card. Must be a really, really good card to play with. Chaos Dragon is only $53 for the gold card, but $8.60 for the regular card. So either the regular card is more expensive than it should be, or the gold card is less than it should be. That's kind of the thinking when you're using this compared by. So let's take a look. 520, 590 is the average on these, so that is pretty correct. Oh, no, it's up to 8. So 590 is the average. So it would be a much bigger difference if it was closer to the average. So the Chaos Dragon, I mean, there's a lot of cards right there. The price gap would be really fun if we could look at a few more cards. Um, the Jin, let's take a look here. 18%, $31 jumps up, like $1.50 or something like that on the next one. But 18%, that's of interest. I may just grab that one anyways. Legionnaire. Seems like these gold cards, I'm just now seeing it. These gold legendaries have a pretty good return on renting. 14%. All right, the Runemancer Kyrie. Well, that's even still pretty good. 11%. 17.4, but the reality is the average is still 15. So maybe the Runemancer Kai is a pretty decent deal. Like, look, it jumps $30. That seems like a good deal. It jumps $30. There's 11% um, return on asset on a gold legendary. Um, now these prices on these Rift Watcher ones likely got to come down, don't they? Once more and more of them get printed. I don't know. I don't know. All right, Sea Stalker. Look, these are the first non-legendary one that's showed up on our. Well, this one was a non-legendary. But let's take a look at the Sea Stalker. $5.50. But the common card is either really expensive, and it does jump up pretty quickly. So that seems like a really good option. You get a couple, 50 of these, and then boom, they were all listed together. They were all probably by the same people, um, same two people maybe, listed in same similar prices. Then boom, it jumps 20 cents. Now at 84 cents, the 4-week average was 68. And it was low. It jumped up to real high to 1, and then it's down low. So I thought I was onto something. I'm not. I'm not onto anything really. But let's take a look. 6% returns. What were the returns on those other ones? The Sea Stalkers here? 15%. It's not like amazing. The Queen Mycelia. A Torrent Fiend. What's the return? Holy cow. 45%? $64. It's not a huge gap there. 18%. Oh, that's very interesting. How many of them are actually being rented? Only 2 of these cards are being rented, so it's not very good data to pull from necessarily. Let's take a look at this epic card. 21%. It drops decently quickly. I mean, it raises up to $14, then to $15. $1.80 over here. And the 4-week average is pretty close to $1.80. It's $1.70. Not bad. It's shot up to $2.40. It's been as low as like $1.40-ish, $1.26 on probably some massively combined version. 20% returns. I think we found something. I think the Wave Brood is an interesting one. You can get them pretty close to $12.30, and then it jumps up pretty quickly. So we're going to grab a few of those. We are spending $348 on all of these. This is one of those ones, gold versus difference. Now let's go the other direction. Let's go to the bottom of the list to see where the gold cards are way expensive compared to the non-gold. So we're going to take a look at just the Rift Watchers. The Rune Crafter is huge difference, right? So that may mean that the gold is either way too expensive or the regular card is way too cheap. So that's one thing that we're looking at. 11.1 cents. What is the average? It's below that. So we tried. We tried. Let's take a look here. Let's get rid of all these commons. Let's see here. The Junker at 32 cents. It doesn't climb kind of climbs decently fast. It's up to 40 cents after like 20, 30 cards. Looks like 32. Oh, there's a huge difference. Prices of Rift Watcher cards just seem like they're all going up. They're all going up. Let's take a look at the Chaos Legion cards. Ifrit Rising is very cheap, either on the regulars or or too expensive on these. But the reality is they're pretty close to the other legendary cards. Both of these are pretty low. Look at the other legendaries. The next one, 26. $26, $1.90. Here's the difference here. 26, very similar in price, but this drops down to $1.09. So this is one of the other cards that we have purchased previously. We like these percentages. When you compare it to the Zyax, it's a lot lower of a return. And this next one, the Isa, will tend to 9-10%, but that's because the price definitely goes up. Desert Dragon, $2.70. Yeah. So I think I'm just going to buy a bunch more of these. I'm actually going to buy all 10 of those. Boom. And all 3 of these. So everything below $1.10 is in the bank. Haha. So a bunch of cards that look like they'll be decent for renting. So, oh, look at this Hill Giant. This is interesting. 31 cents to 5.16. Sorry. Sorry, where did it go? 3 cents to 5.51 cents. So, oh, look at that. 3.1 cents was a good deal. So good that it's gone. So this is why you want to use the bids. So you can get that card existed on the market for a moment, then got bid up real quick. So now that's why you also want to hit the refresh button every once in a while to get new kind of more modern data. Let's look at Untamed cards. Let's go down to the bottom of the list again. So this is the cards that are very inexpensive in the normal foil type versions by Ceratops. It's probably very, very inexpensive. But not getting good return on assets anyways. Let's take a look at this Azamari Harpoonist 13.17. Not too terrible. $1.18. The next gap is $1.22. Not a huge thing. ROAs are fine. Nothing to write home about. Let's take a look at the Scale Doctor. Not not great as return on asset sort of card. I just want to look at just give me a moment to look at just the epics. This is either an expensive gold foils or inexpensive normal foil. Or it could be both things at the same time, of course. So the returns on those for renting aren't so amazing. Let's take a look at some more of these. Huh. We go down on this side, the Sporcerer, 10%, and the gold. You know, when you're sorting it by the difference, kind of look at the golds up here and the normals down here is what I tend to do personally. So I'm not finding anything that I'm super excited about. Dark Astronomer, nothing too exciting here. Let's take a look at the golds over here. The Shield Bearer could be an interesting one. Yeah, not so great. True Speaker, 11%. Contessa, 6%. Look at that. There's a 20%er. It's a very expensive card. Only two of them are rented. All right. We did buy a few with that method. We are going to the alpha versus beta, which means you have to unclick all the additions so that it just pulls up alpha versus beta. And then you can find cards that are very, very similar in price per BCX, right? Per BCX, it's saying that these are pretty similar in price. So, which means you may want to look at the alpha versions on these ones. See if there's a good deal in the alphas. Now, you've got some very expensive cards because there are 86 of them, but you know, $200 actually isn't too expensive. Oh, look here, $4.30, 15%. Interesting. Oh, level 2s only required 2 BCX at that point. $4 a piece, 25% return. This is interesting. How many? 30 of them are rented. $4. I kind of like that. Anyways, let's take a look. The pricing of these alphas. I'm just trying to look for some lower versions, lower level cards. 26, that's a lower level one. $4. I mean, when you consider that the beta is $2.50, it's actually not like that amazing. Someone must have gone through and picked through these. It's almost $1, well, 90-cent difference between the next card, which is actually a max level card. So, I mean, this could be an interesting purchase, but I don't think I'm jumping on it. So, one of the other things to consider is let's just do regular foils. Let's go the other direction where perhaps either these are overpriced or these are underpriced here. So let's take a look at the beta card here. 7% returns, 11. Oh, look at this, 11 here. Frozen Soldier is a huge difference in price. Let's take a look at the commons. Oh, look at that. Look at that. The Saber Shark. Cheaper as an alpha than it is as a beta. That's interesting. $1.31 if you get this max level. Whereas, I mean, $500, right? The cheapest here for max level is 742. Yeah, let's see here, $1.49. So just the beta may not be a good deal. It doesn't necessarily mean the alpha is a good deal. It just means that the beta may be a really bad deal. So you just kind of have to think through things here, but you could find some pretty interesting options here, especially if you get some lower level cards. I'm still. All right, Splinterland's going to put me a timeout for looking at too many cards again. The Splinterlands API. It's not PeakMonsters that's doing this to you. It's the API. All right, so they let me come back in here. I kind of like this option for the Saber Shark as a um this is an alpha card. Yeah, 379 BCX is what the alpha cards were like when they were maxed. It's different days for sure. Um so 499 though. I'd want to kind of compare this with the price at level to see what the price is compared to other alpha cards at that level. So before you go in and buy um, some some cards, uh, alpha versus beta cards, this is the one that you kind of come to and go, all right, am I getting a good deal here? Um, Now for re-renting, these aren't amazing, are they? Let's keep going. Let's go to the epic cards. Fire demons are pretty close in value. You can kind of see though what the price values are in all these epic on these all these alphas, right? Like this air elementals, $8.12. And over here, the serpent is really inexpensive. Um, well, not really. I mean, $2.80 is the cheapest. So Dark Enchantress. So I mean, in alpha, it's the most expensive, and in beta, it's the second least expensive. So let's at least go take a look at this. And what's really nice is that there are a couple of lower BCX versions, but the renting out cost, not so great. Look at this. When you got $24 per BCX, your rental returns are pretty bad. So what's the cheapest one on this side? 812. And you like it that it's really low here. So let's take a look at this air elemental. Similar things, man. Just really hard to find good renting priced cards on the alpha versus beta. So have I bought one? I need to buy one because I said I'd be buying one from each. Oh, we did put one in there. We're just going to buy it. Alpha versus beta is really just for those types of people that are looking specifically for good deals on alpha or beta cards and making some comparison type stuff. I am not presently, I have a lot of those cards, so not so interested presently. All right, just got to plug in the power to my computer. We are still going, an hour and 17 minutes strong. Let's do the next thing. Active rentals. Active rentals has a problem. You need to refresh the page. All right, we're on active rentals. What we really want to do is we only can sort the column presently by average DEC. So let's just take a look at the regular foil cards. We're looking at level 1 regular foil cards. What is the most highest is Jotun, Byzantinus, Sacred Llama. Um, let's just look at Rift Watchers. What is the best level 1 Rift Watchers right now? The Runemancer, the Coral Lurker, the Runemancer floor is pretty good. It goes from zero point 0.4 to 215. The median is another good number to look at, 5, which is really solid because this drops, this is 5.9, so this is actually more consistent. It looks like there was a run and it took the numbers up pretty high, 12 on the 80th percentile. I'd say the Coral Lurker is obviously a little bit more consistent. A lot of these legendaries. Then we've got some rare cards that are doing pretty well. Prices dropped quite a bit, but this Runemancer floor is actually quite interesting. Now, there's no buy method here in active rentals, but we're showing you how we would use this. So um, we're going to go to price at level. price at level. We're going to grab some level 1 cards. We're going to do Rift Watchers, Legendaries, and remove the card name in there. Roommancer Floor, $11. That's interesting. It's not even the most expensive. So when we look here, we're probably getting decent ROAs. Look at that. And look at this gap, which I love. But there's some at 11, and then it jumps to 1180. Does it keep jumping? No. I'm going to grab these 11. I'm actually, one of the things that would be good to do, I'm not going to actually hit the add to cart. I'm going to put a bid in for $9.30. This is one thing people should do a little bit more. We're going to do 15 of these, and we're just going to go for one BCX cards. How about that? All right. Because what happens at level 2 with these legendary cards? The Runemancer Floor goes up a bit, but not like the Cane Haste gets really quite good when you take it to a level 2. What happens at level 2? Oh, an extra magic attack. That is obviously quite nice. Only 8 of them rented, though. Runemancer doesn't just have a pretty good rate, but it has a lot rented. So at level 1, it had the most rented. At level 3, it drops down there. Well, no, that's still almost the second most rented. And it's high up. Well, it's midway. 63 isn't super high, of course. Cane Haste, though, could be an interesting one to look into getting. Let's see here. Cane Haste, 22. It's a little bit more. When you can compare these, the 5% here and the 4% and the 25%, not bad, but like 6% here. And then you go to the Runemancer and you're like, oh dang, 28%. Kind of want to just buy some of these cards, but if I can get them for $1 less, $2 less on some of these, when they go up in price, then I'm all about that. I'll just keep an eye on the bids. Hope that I get a bunch of those. Let's see, the Runemancer Kai. There we go. So we've spent an hour 22. We've purchased quite a few cards. You had yourself a masterclass in the different ways to use the compares. Now, we always go back to the price above burn. Let's actually just refresh the page. I mean, this is the one that you start with because these are such good jobs. 8.8 cents, probably not there anymore. Yep, 9 cents. Well, the 9 cents are only 10% more anyways, so kind of interested in that, 9.8 DEC per card above. Like, how long is it going to take for each of these cards to earn 9.8 DEC? And I'll have basically breaking even on that. Like, I can dump the card for 100 DEC, and I've only spent 109. But anyways, I'm going to grab these lava launchers, add them to the cart, all 748. The Jinchwa'ala. Remember how I bought a bunch of them? Well, there's 40 back now, again, being added to the market. So you can just kind of come back from time to time. 1.8 cents on these. Basically 21.9 DEC, and they're a 20 DEC card. Cost above burn. Just amazing little thing to do. Let's add them all. Boom. 712 because there is a limit of 1,500 cards in the shopping cart. If you want that increased, you're going to have to send a message in our Discord. There has been some requests, but I think the developer is looking for more and more people to request. So I'm just going to click this button 10 times to confirm all of these transactions. And there we go. Just keep an eye on that, man. And then sometimes what I do is I go here, Rift Watchers, look, it's a 5x, but the 5x is like, what is a good deal here? I mean, there's a lot of legendary gold foil, that's for sure. Runemancer floor at $81. That's interesting. The bid is 57. Now I wonder about this too. 11%, not so great, but at $81. What if I were to get it at 57.50? Let's try that out. 57.25. Well, least we can do is put a bid in there. 11% even at $81. So what would it be at $57? A lot more. That's kind of where you get back to the low price versus high bid, or the yeah, let's do that. And let's look at the legendary cards for the Rift Watchers. So that we want large price differences, right? This is where you come in and you're like, where should I put my bids in? The high bid is 22, the low price is 53, but we already have discussed that the Runemancer isn't great, but might as well put a bid in for $23, right? Done. That's kind of an easy bid. Um, $49 is the high bid, and this raw, it seems to be worth a bit more, 8%. I mean, if we got it for half the cost, then what are we looking at? 16%? Yeah, we can maybe we don't go for that one particularly. The Runemancer Kai, 9% if we get it for half the price, or almost half the price. It could be really good. Now, 76 versus what is the 30-day average is 102. So, dang, I want that one. Let's put a bid in 77 and hit confirm. So, not all these are for buying, like how to make decisions on bids. There's some really good tools in here for you. The Mortius, let's take a look at some of these bids here. The Kane Haste. All right, let's move to the Chaos Legion. Carnage Titan. The highest bid is 26. Well, I tell you what, 44 is the average. It's never even been as low as it was like look like one mistake one at 24. Let's put in a bid for 28. And I'm willing to get a couple of those. I like the Carnage Titan. All right, 87 versus 120. Well, I mean, we'd be very, very lucky to get that bid. I don't think it's going to fill. Some of these that you put in here, they just may not fill. But we're going to put in a bid. What if they do? If you put in enough of these, sometimes they just end up happening. So it drops down into the 30s decently quickly from 38. The bid is 26. I mean, there have been a couple sold at 25, 28, 29 days ago, but it's unlikely. Let's put in a bid for 27. All right. Soul Fiends for yeah, we're looking at a lot of gold foils. What if we look at the non-gold foils? Definitely less of a drop between the bid and the low price, but there are some options. A lot of legendaries, because we're looking at just the legendaries. What if we look at them all? The Crypt Beetle is one of those things. At 2.2 cents, the low price is 3.6, and What's going on here? Nominee purchased during that time period? Or they were all being purchased at 2 cents? Not sure what's going on. But no, I don't know. We could put a bid in. Look at this one. 44 cents, 53. What is the 30-day average? 36. 36 cents. So 44 is already a little higher than the average. Let's take a look at the dice cards. Huge differential between the bid here. So these are some, especially in the older cards, you're going to see some of these higher differentials and stuff like that. So what is the average? 21. It's been down to 13. You put a bid in for $7. It's just kind of a waste. Might as well just put a bid in. Let's put a bid in for 10. You don't just have to barely beat things because no one's going to sell this card to you at $6. No one has in the past. Why are they going to in the future? So this is one of the things here. The average is 21. The low is 15. So you kind of want to put a bid in for something closer to 15. There we go. All right. So we've got a bid for 20, a bid for 13 on this trip. 22. It has gone down to the lowest is $17. So I think me putting a bid for 14 is totally fine, right? Let's do it. So this is a way for you to go in and find a bunch of bids. All right, now we're really done. This transaction didn't complete, so I'm going to recreate it, and now it's passed successfully. All right, I hope you enjoyed the 90 minutes. There's a lot of Splinterlands podcasts out there that are 90, like a lot of videos, a lot of live shows, all the Splinterlands TV stuff is around an hour. If you watch this one at 2x speed, it's a 45-minute show of just like masterclass and buying cards with all the compare methods. All right, I hope you enjoyed.